Now, just like you, I used to be worried literally all the time. And I realized a couple of days ago that time, what we think of time, is basically an illusion because all that exists is the now. Have you ever been in the future? Have you ever experienced the past again? All the past is just what you have experienced leading you up to this moment right now. And the future is your projections of what is to come based on the information you have in your current context, right? And so when you grasp this concept, what you basically need to understand is whatever you think of as the future or the past, it's all in the sense of an illusion because it doesn't exist. What exists is the reality which you are experiencing right now. And the reality which you're experiencing right now, it may be cool, it may be tiring, it might be enjoyable, but you need to realize who is making those projections onto the current reality which you're experiencing right now. When you are in the present moment, you're not really in charge of who you are, because if you were, you wouldn't be in this negative zone in your head, because all that is just identifying with your mind. And you need to realize you are not what you think you are, right? You are not your thoughts that you have in your mind, because all that thoughts are just like an endless stream. And if you pick something and identify with it, it means that you will be run by that program which you're picking to run by. Let's say, for example, I make videos, right? So I have negative thought of, man, this video isn't really going well. I'm not really recording and the lighting isn't good, like all these little excuses that I have in my head. But you need to realize all that is just mental chatter. And if I just look at it simply by how it is, it means that I'm separating myself from it, which means I'm returning to my default state. I'm returning to my natural state of not identifying with my thoughts because I am not my thoughts, right? But getting back to the topic, all you need to understand is that the time which you see, it's an illusion because you are always in the now. Let's say you're worrying about something that might happen tomorrow. Maybe you got exams coming up next month. Man, I have exams next month. That's how I know it. But you need to realize that everything else that you see in the future is fake. Everything else which you see in the past has already happened, which means that it's no longer relevant to what it is now. The way you experience everything is through the presence that you have within yourself. But when you get entangled between the mind chatter, it takes away your presence from the current moment, because if you had presence in the current moment, it would be just pure bliss. Because the reason why most people are sad, depressed, and anxious all the time, and this includes me and you are both in this video, right? The reason of that is because they are identified with their mind. And I'm not gonna say I'm some monk that I've suddenly mastered everything. I'm certainly not a master, right? I'm just kind of getting the experience and then telling you from what I've learned from my experience, right? And so without any further ado, let me just explain to it in a much better way. Everything which you experience currently is in the now, right? Whatever you experienced in the past was in the past, and that felt very real because you were in that present moment at that time. But that present moment is now gone, and you're in the moment now. Worrying about anything is not going to help in order to change the situation that you want to change, right? What that will do is amplify that state within you, and you will go into like a hyperdrive emotion, and instead of you controlling your mind will start to control you. And when your mind starts to control you, what it needs to sort of achieve is to be right all the time. You're going to be in your ego thinking that you need to be right all the time. Even though things hurt you on the outside, you're going to be like, but I still want to be right, right? So what I want you to know is everything you experience is in the present, and everything that you experience in the future is just a past projection. What that basically means is that whatever you experienced in the past, right, you will use that in your present to think about the future. And the way you think about the future is by projecting what has happened in the past, right? You think about what had happened in the past, then you link it back to what will happen in the future. And so the human mind, right, it capitalizes on survival. It capitalizes on using negative situations more because that's just more appealing. If you look at news, negative news sells more. There's negativity more because it just captures our attention more than positivity. I'm gonna give you my own example, right? Let's say there's 10 comments which are like, yo, Theo, you did a great job with this video. I'm gonna be really happy. But let's say there's one comment of this nasty guy. He's like, this guy's probably like eating crisp and then typing at the same time. He's like, this video is not very good, man. What the hell? And I'm gonna be entangled in that. I'm gonna be like, yo, why did this guy eating Cheetos? Like, why did he dislike my video? I'm gonna ignore everything positive to get more sucked into the negative, right? And so this is just like a side tangent, but you need to realize, right? Past projection happens when something in the past, mostly negative, gets encountered with your present moments, and then you use that to go into the future. But with everything which I just said, what you basically need to realize is that the most important thing which you can think of now is the present. And you can't really think of being present, because when you think of being present, you're not present anymore. When you think of being present, you're not present anymore. So the key to presence is not to think, right? When you think about being present, you're not really present anymore, right? The way to be present is to feel the presence. I know it can be a little bit difficult to grasp it, but when you're feeling the presence, you're not really in the headspace of thinking, why is this happening or why is that happening? You're in the present moment, which means that you are free of thoughts. And when you are free of thoughts, I know it's kind of like a stupid thing to say, like free of thought. What do you mean free of thoughts? Everyone thinks, right? Yes, everyone thinks. But the thing is, when you use that thinking against you, that's not really thinking for yourself. That's like sabotaging yourself in a way, right? And so with that being said, everything which exists right now, I want you to know, is the reality you are experiencing right now, the current present moment. Look around you. Are you not like there's no like threats around you? Everything is calm. You're alive. You're breathing. That is enough to give you this sort of reassurance that life is okay. Everything is good. You're alive. You're breathing, right? So what I want you to know, to just leave this video on a positive note, is that everything is gonna be okay, because you're going to deal with it in the present moment. Right now, you're in the present moment. You can deal with everything around you, right? You can. Whatever that happens in the future, you're gonna think, yo, that exam that I have, or I want to talk to this guy or this girl. Everything in that scenario will work out because you're gonna be in that moment. If you think about that moment now, you're not really gonna be able to handle what is going on, right? Because the tools which you have right now to deal with the present moment will be the tools which are available to you when you are in that future event that you think you are going to be in, right? And so with that being said, to leave this video on a positive note, thank you for watching. I just want you to know that everything takes place in the eternal now, and the nowness cannot be denied, because this is all that exists. This current moment is all that exists. The rest is all an illusion, right? And so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.